and direct you and walk you through whatever it is that you need. So without further ado, I'm going to let Shakur come up and introduce our panel of experts, and then we will get started.
Hey, hey, hey. Uh-uh. This the one. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shakur Davis. Many of you probably already know me, but I am the founder of Melanin Moms of Pearland. So I want you all to raise your hand if you are a part of our amazing group. Yay. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I truly appreciate you all for continuously helping me push the vision that God gave me for Melanin Moms. And I thank you for showing up consistently for me. So tonight, again, like Nikki said, we will be talking about taxes, but most importantly, I wanted to make sure we had a lineup of women that we could identify with and women that could assist us with. I don't know. I don't want to use the word gentrification here, right? Because hopefully that's not what's going to take place here, but ultimately creating equity for us here in Brazoria County. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce up our realtors in no certain order. D Glass of the Glass House Realty. You can go ahead and come up and see here. And Trishelle Schumack for the Schumack Realty Group. Effie Best with the Prosperity Realty Group. And so, you guys, I have been able to communicate with all three of these ladies at various points throughout this week and last week. I was able to work with Effie personally, getting her out to the south side of Brazoria County for their protesting event, as well as working closely with Dee and Antrashell. And so I feel confident, right, that they are going to give you all of the resources that you might need to be successful in protesting your taxes. So tonight, it's not going to be us talking at you. It is more so going to be a conversation. So if you have any questions, these ladies will be able to assist you. They came here prepared to assist you with protesting your taxes. If you need a protest and tax form, Nikki is walking around with them. We do have Brazoria County as well as Harris County. I do know we might have some Fort Bend people in here, so let me know if you need Fort Bend and we can get that for you. You need Fort Bend? Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and I think we have two mics. I'm going to pass the mic over to these wonderful ladies.
How y'all doing this evening? Can y'all hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. So, I guess first I just wanted to start by saying the same feelings that you guys are feeling with these increased property values is what we're feeling too, as homeowners. The market that we've had for the last couple years, I'm sure either you were in that market where you were buying or selling in that market, or you've kind of heard about what was going on in the market. So, high demand, low supply put us in a position where properties were selling above asking or above market value. And because of that, the county is always going to want to tax us at the market value of our property. So even if you are one that has no intention of selling your home, or you haven't sold your home or bought a home recently, you also now are facing the same thing. So you might have bought your home 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and now your property values are $150,000 more than what you purchased your home for. So that's great, right? But what do we do with that? No, we don't have a plan to sell our property and utilize those funds. And so now our mortgage payment is going up. So most people think that, okay, when I purchase a home, this is a fixed expense versus renting where they go up every year. Well, part of that is true. Your principal and your interest and your mortgage payment is fixed, but taxes and insurance are not. And so that's really what we're looking at right now. So can we get the county to bring down the values of our properties? Well, it's a fight, and it's a fight every year. And so if this is your first year protesting your taxes, then you need to make sure that this is something that you do every year. You need to protest every year to make sure that they understand I need to keep my value as low as possible. My house is not, market ready. There are certain repairs that I need to do at my home, or, those are things that you can use to protest your taxes. So a little bit about the process and what that looks like. What I will say is right now, we have a deadline to submit. And so hopefully you all are connected with a realtor that can provide comps for you. The comps that you need your realtor to look for is going to be the lowest comps. You know, we're trying to get that value down as low as we possibly can. And so that's, you know, initially what you're looking for, but you might be in a position where there aren't any comps lower than the values that they are assessing your property at. And so a little bit of a trick to that is to look at the property values of the homes that are around you, just what the county is assessing those properties at. Because something that we have seen recently is there are certain people that have lower property values assessed on their property, much lower than their neighbors. And it could be politicians, it could be, you know, people in government that, you know, some kind of way, they're the lowest price home on the block. You know, so you want to make sure that even if there aren't any sold comps in the last year, what you want your realtor to look for is comps from January 1st of 2022, and they're going to be looking at comps all the way through March, April of this year. So you want to look for the lowest comps over that period of time, which kind of helps because property values continue to increase. And so if we can go back to January, February last year and get some lower comps, then that will help. Okay. But one thing you want to do is submit those applications for protests right now, whether you have the comps or not. You don't have to submit your comps with your application. So don't let that hold you up from protesting. They are going to schedule a hearing for you, a private hearing for you to come back and meet with. Well, before that, submit your paperwork in person if you can. Yeah. Submit your paperwork in person if you can. Be kind. The reason I say that is because it's a whole lot of people that are mad about these increased property values, and they, you know, can go in there and take it out on people that don't have anything to do with the value of your property. These people are just going to working their jobs. So go in there and be kind. They're going to schedule a private hearing for you to go back up there and meet with the county tax appraiser. And you want to ask them, don't bring your comps at that time. You can bring those to your hearing, okay? But what you want to also know is what comps are they using to value your property? Because they have to provide you with that information as well, okay? Do you have anything to share, like while we're talking on?
What I can you hear me? Okay. Hi. Like she was saying about be kind. You can, just go in there. I also advise to go in person, so you can get a receipt, to show that you did go there. Because when you submit it online, I mean, that can just get lost in translation. The other thing is that you want to make sure that if you do talk to a realtor and you have a unique property, that they can go back a little further in date than a year. So you can go back like 2 years or 3 years. And what I mean by unique is like you're on a lot of land, like say you have acreage, or you have a house and then you have acres next to you and you own both. That's considered a unique property or anything like that. We will get you two different comps. So one for your house value and one for your land value, because it's totally different. They're not together, okay? Also the other thing that you would want to be aware of is the radius. You need to make sure that you're doing it in a mile radius. If you do not go in a mile radius, you can go as far as 10-mile radius. So if we can't find anything, so let's say if you live in Meridiana and that's kind of high, so we want to stretch out just a little bit so we can get you some lower comps. So we can go as far as 10 miles. Okay, so we can kind of stretch it because they're probably stretching it too to get their comps. So when you ask them for their evidence of how did they appraise your house, you'll know how far they went out, and then we can contest that. And you have us three that will be more than happy to help you, or if you have your own realtor, just make sure that they give you comps in the right vicinity and the right bedroom sizes, the right lot sizes, the right square footage, because you cannot contest a house of a 5 bedroom compared to a 3 just because it's in the mile. Do you understand? So that's what a comp means. It's comparable to what you are living in. So that's the main thing that I would like to share.
Now, depending on what county you're in, they may have different criteria as well. So, a lot of times you want to stay within your community. A lot of the counties are only going to look at comps that are within a certain community. But if you're outside of like a master plan community and you live on land or you live in a smaller subdivision, then you may be able to reach out a little bit further. But yes, you do want to get like comps for your protest. Another thing is that if this is your homestead, you want to make sure that you have filed your homestead exemption on your property, because if you have, then they can't go up more than 10% in value. And so if you haven't, for one, you are missing out on some tax credits that are available to you for that being your homestead. But like I said, there is a protection that's in there for you. If this is your homestead, they can't jump up more than 10% per year. Okay. Let's see. So sometimes when you go ahead. Okay. Mhm. So when you go in for your hearing, or even before, can you ask for that
Yeah,
before?
I would
Okay.
ask before, when you turn in your document to get the hearing, I would ask for evidence of,
The
what
comps
did
that
they
they use.
use, so you can be prepared for your hearing.
Okay, so what's the purpose of waiting to give them my market analysis? I already have that. So you're saying bring the application, but don't give them my comps yet?
So you don't want to
You don't
give
wanna-
them anything that's going to help them in their fight against you when you go in for that appointment with them, right? So if you
Right.
give them everything you have, then they're going to find stuff to contest the information
Okay,
that
so I
you,
need to wait, because I have comps that are way less than what my home is valuing at.
Right.
So I wait to bring that at the hearing.
yes, I would
Okay.
wait. I would
Okay.
wait.
It's
All right,
like real
perfect.
estate. You don't want to show them how
There
many,
you go.
how many books you got.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah,
Things
because
like that.
sorry,
there you
just
go.
to add to
I
that,
appreciate that analogy. Okay, thank you.
they've had instances,
Great question.
even people in my family where your home is listed online, but it's a difference in the square footage than what your house is really the size of. So then, like she said, taking them the comps up front, now they know, oh, we made a mistake here, but let's find another workaround to get her back to what the number that we want her to be at.
So to be fair, if we were to break down step one for us to do, it's we fill out our form here and we need to get that form in by May 15th. And then we preferably take it in person if we can. Okay.
If you can get down there in person, I strongly advise that. Another very important piece to get ready for your hearing is, if you remodeled, find some old pictures of your house before you remodeled and use that. Don't take the remodel. I know you're proud of your kitchen, but we don't want them to be proud of it too. You know what I mean? So you have to find the old pictures of your kitchen and everything like that. Now, going back, if you plan on selling, then that's a little different. Okay. But if you plan on staying in your home because you don't want to pay those high taxes, then this is the way to go. But if you do plan on selling, then you kind of want your value to stay high so you can sell and get your equity. But like I said, if you remodeled your home and did anything, find the old pictures of the home and take that as your evidence of distressed property, or your neighbor leave that bike outside too long. You go ahead and snap that real quick. You know what I mean? And just use whatever you can, be creative to get as much, stuff down.
That's what I was just about to say. Even down to around your garage where the wood is rotting and stuff in your backyard on the covered patio. Take pictures. It may seem tedious to us and it doesn't bother us, but that is what actually helps in this fight.
And so another thing is, don't be afraid to protest your taxes because you think that's going to hurt your market value if you plan on selling in the next couple of years. Those two things don't have anything to do with one another. You want the value that they assess your property at to be as low as possible. The market is going to dictate the actual value of your property. So don't be concerned that if I protest my taxes, that's going to devalue my property. Those two things do not go hand in hand.
No, because I mean, essentially the same thing that they do to protest is going to be the same thing they do when they come out and appraise it. So if something sells around you in the same mile, half a mile radius, they're going to go back to what recently sold within the last 6 months, and you're going to be back to where you need to be. So,
Anybody have any other questions? Anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
absolutely,
Please.
Absolutely. Every
Yes.
every year you're gonna want to do. I mean, it has to happen every year unless you want to pay it. I mean, that's on you, but I don't advise it. But you want to do this every year. Every year this happens in January when you get your nice little paperwork and you're like, oh wow, yeah. You want to go back and you know, you have to update your comps every year, but you want to do that.
And
Okay.
even if it just goes up a little bit, I mean, make sure that they know you're coming back every year to protest those taxes to get the value down.
Most definitely.
No, you're okay. It's okay. We can hear you. Mhm. Was that the only picture that you submitted? Was-
So that's absolutely correct. You want to make sure that whatever you're submitting is, and I'm Ashley Ward, by the way. I'm sorry. I was late. I went to the wrong church, so I'm sorry. I was there on time, I promise. But you want to make sure you're submitting information that's directly related to your property specifically. So your pictures, your comps, anything that's compared to your property directly, you want to make sure that that's what you're submitting. So the mailboxes is kind of, community related. So they want to see for your address, what do you have to show that this property is not appraised or assessed it appropriately? So you want to make sure you're submitting it correctly.
What if it's directly in front of your home? Because you know how they have like sometimes staggered on the side,
Mhm.
right in front of your home, because that could impact the property value, right?
Most definitely.
I guess it's just like on a specific basis, I got a mic.
So it depends on who, you never know who you're going to have.
Because I use the neighbor's yard because she never cuts her grass. So, and she the one that got the bike that's annoying. So I use hers to contest my stuff. You know what I mean? So like, I guess it just depends. Just keep submitting the mailbox. Somebody gonna say yes, you know?
Right. So there's never too much evidence. Bring anything that you can. Let them decide whether or not they will accept that as credible.
You just never know who's reviewing your paperwork. And every time you submit a evidence packet or whatever it is, it's always going to be, just like it's four of us up here today. It could be her looking over it this time, and it could be me looking over it the next time. You just never know people's perception.
Right.
So submit it every time. Every year when those tax statements come out, you want to make sure that you're submitting. I need y'all to review this again. You want to make sure that you're on top of it and making sure that they're reviewing it again.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm a homeowner, and I just had questions about letters I've been getting that people who will protest for me. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that?
So sometimes you'll have better luck protesting on your own than you will hiring a company to do that. For one, there's a cost associated with it, right? But a lot of times the county will take your protest with your, information and maybe give you more credit because you're doing it on your own versus hiring a company to do it for you. So yes, you utilize your realtors to provide those comps for you, but protest it on your own.
Okay, what if I don't have a realtor? I mean, do I have to?
You got us.
Okay.
You got all
Oh,
of us.
okay.
We're
Okay.
here, and just guess what? It's free.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're out here like you got to pay us $50 to provide you these comps. If you reach out to any one of us, I'm pretty sure, like, hey, would you guys be willing to provide me those comps? There you go. It's
Okay,
the MMOP
okay.
special. But
I mean, do I take
any one
pictures
of
of
us
my
would
home
be-
now that to get that process already started? Because
Yes,
My-
yeah,
especially
you
if you
actually want to
have
have that
repairs.
submitted by May 15th, if I'm
Okay.
correct. You want to, if you're trying to protest, if you haven't done it already, May 15th is the deadline
yeah,
for
because I have
Brazoria
a
County.
my door fence is almost falling off.
Take a picture of that.
So do I not fix it and just leave it?
No, don't fix it
No.
yet. Don't fix it yet. Please don't fix it
After the
yet.
So, but if I,
protest.
Fix it after the protest, but first you want to turn in your application just to have it in there and then gather all your documents.
but what if
So
I want
we
to
will call-
protest next year and just leave the,
No, look, take a picture of the fence now, right?
Yeah.
And then go
Go ahead and fix it.
go do your protest. Get your little hearing going. Let them approve you for the lower amount. You can go fix your fence after that, and then next year use the same picture.
I got you. Got
And the same
And the
every
same
year.
picture be like, man, this fence just won't get right, So and use that picture and use it again as a protest.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the comp might not be the same,
right.
but
Yeah.
your fence is your fence.
Right.
So use that same fence,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
All right. And then this lady in the back. No, lot size,
Square
square
footage.
footage, bedroom size, bathroom. That's it. And the comps spell it out for you. It'll tell you these are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 10,000 square foot lot. This price. This was sold on this day or whatever, whatnot. This is what's active selling right now, and this is what's pending.
Mhm.
You'll have those 3 associations on your comp on what we provide. And then you use the lowest one. So go to the list and you crop out that low one. Don't give them the 450 one because you're gonna hurt yourself. But you give them that 289 that DR Horton was throwing that special.
There you go.
You use that and then you submit it, because DR Horton was killing it with that price. That price drop, I was like, oh, we in there. So we use that, to do your evaluation.
Mhm.
And who else? Yes, ma'am. Ooh,
Oh,
shit.
go girl!
So
That was my question too, because I've never filed
You
homestead
know
exemption.
what? Go
Mm-mm.
ahead. I love that question just because so many
Yeah,
people.
that's
We-
my
we
thing.
too.
Who was your
Listen,
I didn't have one. I purchased, when we purchased our home,
No,
we
and
built
even
it ground
at
up
closing,
and I
they
did
have
everything.
told you you have a certain amount of days or time. It used to be January 1st, following the next year to file it if you filed during the middle of the year. But now you can file whenever. So if you haven't done it, that's what you need to go home and do first. And then do that. And just like she said, if you can get it up to them in person, do it. Because I did mine where we were told you can mail it in. And then my signature page got lost in the mail and they never added it. I called back, I followed up, and that's when the lady said, oh, we never got the signature page. So that's your first step.
So a homestead is you planting your flag saying I live here, right?
not just that you live here, but it's your primary.
That's your
residence.
primary residence.
This is not
This
your
is-
investment home. This isn't your mama home that you used to,
Right.
the family
This
home
is
that
me.
you're just staying in for a little bit. This is your primary residence. This is where you lay your head. This is where you pay taxes.
In order to file that, you have to make sure your driver's license has that address that you're claiming your homestead, and you go file that immediately, immediately, and they will drop your tax rate of 0.5% or somewhere
so
around
what
there.
they do, so just for example, say your home is worth $300,000. you essentially get a 20% discount on the value of your home. So when they tax your home, your tax rate is going to be the same no matter what home you live in, right? So if your tax rate is 3%, they're going to do 3% of what's that, 300,000, 20% of that, that's 60,000 off. So they're going to do 3% tax rate on $240,000 versus $300,000. So essentially you're getting a break on the value of your home, the taxable value of your home. Now, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Where do you go to file the homestead exemption?
Same place.
Same place.
Yeah.
Your
Brazoria
county, your
County.
county.
And if
you
you've
don't have-
never filed, do you receive back tax
So
credit?
you can. So
No.
they will retro back. It depends on what county you're in, I think, but I think they will go back up to 2 years, maybe 3 years. It depends. You have to find out for sure. But if you have not filed your homestead exemption and you need to go back and get some of that credit, they will retroactively give you some of that credit back. But if you've been in your home 10 years, they're not going to go back 10 years.
But like when you filed your taxes, your tax preparer didn't ask you, did you buy? Oh, okay. Oh man, I want to beat up everybody. I'm sorry. I'm mad for you.
So
Yes, but yeah, everybody, because that is very important. That is something that you look forward to, getting that little break when you purchase your home. That's kind of like your gift card back to yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like all the money that you put up into the home, it's a credit that you get back, and you're able to keep on that home for the lifetime of the home.
And we can help with that too. So if you need help with navigating how to file your homestead exemption, that's something that we can help with too. Every year. So when they used to do it where you would have to wait until the next year, like if you closed on your home this year, you would have to wait until January of the following year to file your homestead exemption, and you would have until April 30th.
April.
Yeah. And so now really as soon as you close on your home, you
And you
go
change
and
that
you
ID?
change your driver's license to make sure that it shows the address of your new home. You can file your homestead exemption. So we can help with that as well.
Question?
And then I'll repeat it.
Okay. Oh, yes, ma'am. Hi.
Every time.
So I'm going to repeat the question because the people who are streaming online can't hear.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll repeat it. Can you ask the question again? Every time you protest, does it lead to a hearing?
It should. So anytime you're coming to the county and letting them know that you don't agree with what they've already assessed you, the review process should lead to a hearing. So they should give you that opportunity to present why you feel like whatever they assessed your property at, why doesn't meet the standards of what they've assessed you. So that's your opportunity to provide any evidence or provide any information that you feel like would be supportive in your case to show that, hey, you assessed my property at 500,000, but last year it only appraised at 415.
Right.
And so that's your opportunity to provide that information. And so anytime you reach out to them and say, hey, I don't agree, that's the time that they should set up a hearing so that they can review your side versus what they came up with.
And so be mindful that they may also try to reach out to you and offer you a certain number. Don't take that number. If you have comps that support a lower price point than what they are offering you, go ahead and move forward with that hearing.
Correct.
And provide the comps that you have. Even if you're there. So sometimes they'll have you waiting outside to go in for your hearing, and they will come out to you and say, hey, we'll offer you this amount, which is lower than what's on the paperwork, but it's not as low as what's on your paperwork. So if you take that, then you might have just given up, a little bit more credit than you would have gotten.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
One second. I think she had a two-part question.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
So evidence of lower property value because you got lucky and got that box in your backyard? Probably not. But listen, there's never too much evidence, right? So just take a picture of it and say, hey, I got unlucky and they put this big ugly box in my backyard and I think my property value is less. Whatever you think.
Yeah, the big ugly green box that the kids stand on and jump off and think it's fun. That thing. Mhm.
So
I was gonna. Yeah. Anything that you feel like when you signed up to build that home that wasn't there, there you go. Anything outside of that that you feel like could affect your property value is worth taking a picture, is worth submitting to show them why you feel whatever they've assessed the property at is not what it is.
And the truth is that it probably will affect your property value. If you decided to go and sell your property, there are a lot of people that are going to say, "Well, I don't, I don't want this in
And
my
then you
backyard."
can't put a
you know?
pool. You know,
Right.
like it affects you getting a pool in your backyard when you have a power line back there like that. So, yeah, say I wanted a pool, now I can't get one. So, just you whatever, anything you can think of. I would say there's never like too much evidence. You know what I mean? Let them tell you, no, this is not going to work, like they did the lady with the mailbox.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Take the
Mhm.
picture, print it out, and take it with you. We literally just did it for my mom. Centerpoint came and decided to move the power lines around in her yard, and she sits on 2.5 acres. She took a picture, printed it out, and took it with her, and it worked. So,
Especially it wasn't there before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
So the evidence is just for outside. Can we do inside too?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is my first time. I'm a first time homeowner.
Well, congratulations to
So
you.
thank you.
Take a picture of everything.
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 But like exactly what? Like what I think is ugly or just
Well, it depends on what you consider is ugly. So if it was there when you purchased the home, it's not really much you can fight with there. But if it's something that's changed after the fact, then that's definitely something that you can present.
But not an improvement. So, like if you improve something,
okay.
No.
Don't take a picture of that.
don't do that.
Okay.
But if it's like, I don't know.
so like example, like I have a storm door in the backyard and it's like falling apart.
Yeah, there you
Picture
go.
that? Okay.
I got this roof that's doing this,
Yeah.
like his fence that's doing that. Hey, this.
What about like inside of the home? What do you recommend on that? Like if it's just old or
So if there are certain systems in your home that are not operating at, their capacity, the way they're supposed to operate, or like she mentioned, the roof is 15, 20 years old.
what
And
about like sprinklers and all that?
if it's not working,
I repaired it a long time ago, like a year ago.
Do you have a picture of old?
But I have old pictures. and it
Come
was
on,
getting
there we go.
repaired.
Submit that old picture.
Okay.
Submit that old picture.
Okay.
Anything that's not improved, and I told a lady the other day, I was like, she's like, I redid my kitchen. I was like, do you have a grandbaby that was running in that kitchen 2 years ago? Take that picture
Okay.
and take it up there because the cabinets weren't done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like,
okay.
just be creative and take anything that will help you bring it down. We don't want them to be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty, and bring it up. So.
Piggyback on what he asked about examples of inside, like systems, what's some concrete examples of things that people can take pictures of inside that will demonstrate.
so like if your HVAC system is not operating to its capacity and you have maybe a leak in your drain pan and you have a rusted out drain pan, or if you have some foundation cracks, or you have, some broken tiles because of a shift in foundation, even like you said, things that are not up to date. So market value also has to do with cosmetic things as well. So if you have some torn up carpet in your house, or some things that just
An
need
old
Outdated.
dishwasher,
Yeah.
right.
Old hot water heater.
Right.
white appliances. No.
Yeah, but if they're out of
Don't
date,
want the
not to
white
hate,
appliances.
but white appliances, that's old. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Because that's not what's it called? Like an eco green, new double pane window. So you definitely want to take pictures of that as well. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So you want to make sure that they lower the proposed value.
The proposed value.
You want
There
to
you
make
go.
sure that that's the number that comes down.
the
So if y'all
proposed
have
value-
y'all
to answer her
picture.
question, the proposed value would be the appraised value.
So
Whatever
they
the county is appraising that
Yeah, that
property
they've
at,
assessed
that's
to
what
your
you want to make
property.
sure that they're lowering.
Which one is higher?
It's
so
always
your-
going to be higher.
So you want your proposed value to be the number that they bring down.
Mhm.
That's the actual value that they're assessing on your property. Right.
Yes, ma'am. Inside the house, as far as things that would affect your property value. So if it's a brand new home, there's not a whole lot, if you guys can agree with me, that would affect your property value
Correct.
because you're literally,
Brand new.
everything is brand new. So there's not a whole lot that would affect your property value in a negative way. Things that you can watch for that you may just want to stay in contact with your builder about is, like the ceiling pops, just a normal, typical things,
Settlement cracks.
settlement cracks,
Settlement cracks.
things that you would see in a new home that, that would possibly affect, like if someone were to come in and try to purchase your home, that they would see that would possibly affect their offer on your home.
Right. So you'll lean more on your comps
Yeah.
than you would distress pictures. There's some people that I did when I went to was that the south side or the north side? I get confused.
South.
That side down there
So
that I
that way
could
it's
not, yeah, that way, that I could not use comps in the area, right? So we had to go distress that, use those pictures. And there were some that I had to use comps and not use distress because it was just land, So each thing has its different, you got to just figure out, not everybody's going to have a comp, and not everybody's going to have distress. It's just whichever one works better for you. If that number is too high, so that's what you want to do.
And remember, if we don't have the sold comps within that time frame that we talked about, look at the map and see what the county is assessing your neighbor's properties at. Because if there is someone in your neighborhood or several houses in your neighborhood where their values are being assessed a lot lower than yours, though, that's the evidence that you bring. Okay. So you can look on I'm thinking about what we use on the back end.
Well, see, the thing is, like, it's going to give you a roundabout number when consumers look. Realtors have access to the actual numbers of what's sold. So unfortunately, when you do look on HAR, don't use Zillow, guys. We don't like Zillow. But if you do look on HAR and you look at recently sold homes, like when you look up a property and then you scroll down to the bottom, it'll tell you what's listed for sale, what's sold in the area and everything. You won't see the actual numbers, but feel free to call somebody to get those actual numbers.
So I'd like to make a comment to her question about new homes. When we bought our home, the first year we protested, I was told that the assessed value had to be by state law within 10% lower or higher than your actual the value that you paid. So if you take your closing documents, I was like, well, she said, well, you're in this range. And my question was, well, can I be on the lower end? And so instead of being the 110%, she put me on the lower side. So the 90% of the value. But
go ahead.
Well, you can go ahead. I have a question. So I was going to move on from that.
Well, like you mentioned, like your actual, how much you purchased your home for, right? So typically, Texas is a non-disclosure state. So you never have to disclose to the county how much you actually pay for your home or how much your home appraises for when you get an appraisal, right? However, so we never do. But in this situation, I have had clients that have needed to protest their taxes, and we got a really, really good deal when they purchased their home, but their property value is a lot higher based on what the county is assessing their value at. And so I tell them, let's use our appraisal as evidence. They really don't care what you purchased your home for if that number is a whole lot lower, because that doesn't for them determine what the actual market value is. However, if you have an appraisal, for instance, we have a property that was listed at, I think, 410, and they dropped the price. It was at 479. Well, when we put our offer in, we submitted it at 449. It got accepted, and then we did inspections and got it down to 439. I mean 339. Sorry, y'all, my numbers sometimes are off, but we got it down to 339 from the 410. Well, when they assessed the value on that property, it came in at 411. Their appraisal was 370. So that hard evidence that we have to say that your property just appraised a couple of months ago at 370. So 411 is not going to cut it.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So my question is about what I've seen happen with the value of my property is that I protested consecutive like since 2011.
Good.
That's as far as my data shows. And so it appears that this year's valuation has taken away all the other protests. Is that something that's known to happen?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by
So
that?
if my value was like, I was the lowest on my block. So I have a spreadsheet that lists every house on my block, and we're gonna rack and stack who's got the lowest dollar per square foot, and that's what I use to protest.
Mhm.
So I went from being one of the lowest dollar per square foot to one of the highest
So
from one year to the next. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
so I'm just wondering, is there something that happened within the tax office that said, hey, we're just gonna erase the fact that she's been low every year and put her back at standard?
I don't believe
So
so.
I don't believe so either, and I also don't agree with the fact that they will look at previous years. You have to look at each year that they send you out that assessment. That's a brand new year.
That's a brand
You
new
got to
year.
come with it with all of your evidence, all of your information, whatever you have to fight your case to show that your taxes need to be lowered. That's what you need to submit. You can't look at the fact that last year I was the lowest on the block. This year I'm showing the highest on the block, because it doesn't work like that. Each year is a new year, and they have no worries about what happened last year, whether they lowered your taxes, lifted them, whatever it is. They have no care in the world about that. So each year, you want to make sure that you take it on as a new year, and that you provide whatever evidence is required to make sure that you can prove that.
So are you saying that I should use the same evidence from before plus anything new?
No,
Every year?
my suggestion is that every year that you come in with new evidence. So
Okay.
every year you should have a local realtor in your area, or someone that you can depend on, or that you can reach out to and say, hey, I need some new comps, because you need fresh comps. You can't use comps from
2 years ago.
2 and 3 years ago, thinking that they're going to take that and actually lower your taxes. You want to make sure that you have information that's current and that's effective within the last 12 months or so, to show that, hey, this property just sold on my block. This is what it sold for. And this is what I want to show, my
If
property is worth.
If it's lower than the number you were
If it's
assigned.
lower, that's right.
Because
Yeah,
these
they
houses
don't-
are selling
they don't
all
help me.
kinds of crazy
Yes,
different prices right
I
now.
agree.
It is like a roller coaster ride right now.
Yes.
The market is like a balancing out type market. It's not necessarily a seller's market or necessarily a buyer's market. I call it a negotiating market. But you definitely want to pay attention to the numbers. Like she had said earlier, they can only go up 10% than what it was, So you want to make sure that you lower, you stay in that range. You know what I mean? You find the proper comps. If comps are not working for you, it's just not going to work.
Exactly.
And then just use something else, pictures.
What have you been using? You say you've been protesting since 2011. So what have you been using every year?
Good question,
All the
D.
years, 1 year I used the comp
Okay.
from a realtor, and that's the only year that they would help me. And then other than that, just
Pictures.
like small cracks in tiles, there may be like one, I showed that. The sheet rock, so if the tape, probably, we've been at house since 2007, with some of the tape, you can see it kind of broken.
Yeah.
I call it foundation cracks, but
That's what we call it when we protest. We don't call it that when we want to sell. So yeah, you're right.
And it's definitely a foundation crack, sir.
Definitely.
But I think what has really helped me most is so the only like I call them comps, but they're just I literally have every house on my street, and I do $1 per square foot for the house, $1 per square foot for the land, or per acre for the land, and then I see who's the
How are you finding that out though?
I look up every house in the
Right. We need to come take a
Where are
class
you
from
looking
you.
that up? Where are you looking at information?
Come
of
sign
that?
up under me, honey. Look.
Because at this point, I think you need to be a realtor.
Yeah, all of it is public
Another
information.
profession.
Word. But
Um,
just know that there's people that, people like us, there's 4 of us up here, but we are all like dedicated to our areas, dedicated to our communities. And just know that this information, people reach out to me all the time. Like, can you provide me comps? What's the cost? There is no cost. Like, that's what we're here for. Like,
but yeah, make
if
sure
I
you're
don't
using
know.
the same
For
square
me,
footage
there
for
is
your
no
house,
cost.
though.
So I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, there is no cost.
Free.com.
Free.com.
Yeah, we're gonna get this question here, and then we'll do
sorry.
a little touch point. Make sure we've kind of got a high level summary to kind of wrap up, and then we'll allow you guys an opportunity to connect with them individually. And I'm gonna sing a couple of their praises up there because I can personally attest to help that I've received from a couple of these panelists up here. And so let's get this question here.
So crime, is that what you said? No evidence is too much evidence. And so if crime is an issue in the area that you live in and you feel like that affects the value of your property and you have something that you can bring with you to back that up, then by all means, bring it with you.
So, like, your neighborhood app. Y'all have that neighborly app or whatever.
Even the Ring doorbell app,
if
shows
you
all kind of
if
stuff on
you if you have like screenshots of conversations of people saying this happened and that's within your radius, then use it. Screenshot it, print it out, and use it for you because you're a new build, and it just depends on how far we can go back for you on your new build that we can get lower comps, because with the interest rate going up higher than it was a year ago, that comp will be available for you. That comp will work for you because we had to drop prices on houses for new builds, so that is a big plug for you on new builds, you know what I mean, compared to a year ago. So that would be perfect. And then your neighborly app or Ring doorbell, like you said, anything, y'all like to talk in that
The only thing that made me
so.
think about the only thing that made me think about Ring doorbell is because my friend the other night we were all out together for the kids' prom, and she got an alert that said that they heard gunshots, like 7 of them, and it came across as a Ring alert.
Yeah.
So I think it's very helpful if you screenshot that information. Just keep that information. You never know what may work in your favor. So anything that's associated with your address, I would keep it.
So our busybody neighbors on next door are worth something.
They are.
They are.
I just sit there with popcorn and be like, girl, did you see what she said? But yeah, it works. That works.
I was just going to say, for anyone that's in Brazoria County, the police department will send you a report. I just received a report, and I posted it in our subdivision if anyone is in Rodale Palms.
Okay, good.
So the crime statistics.
That works perfectly.
Cool. Oh, what subdivision?
Rodale Palms.
Rodale Palms. So really quick, we did provide you all with the protest and taxing form. I think it's 132, 150, one of those things. The protesting form. I want to allow you all about 2 minutes to look over it so that you can ask questions before we go ahead and wrap up.
Let's take a look at that form and ask any questions on the actual form itself. And while you guys are doing that, I think just to like sum up some of the high points that I'm hearing. Number one, we all need to go and fill out that form ASAP.
Yes.
And get it into Brazoria County. Now,
Homestead too. Homestead is number 1.
Right. Homestead is number 1. If you have not
Hopefully
filed,
you've done your homestead already. Like at the gate at the closing table, y'all remind y'all people.
I do it all the time.
At the closing table, make sure when you leave here, go file your homestead. If you haven't filed your homestead, make sure that that's like the top priority that we're filing our homestead.
Perfect. And the purpose of doing that is because, in my real quick layman's terms, it puts a limit on what they can raise every year. So if you haven't filed the homestead exemption through Brazoria County, appraisal district, right?
Correct.
You need to go to the appraisal district and do that. You can do that online. And then your next thing is going to be to file your protest form and make sure that gets in by the 15th. As they stated, preferably we would go in person and do it. I think that the office is in Angleton. If you can't do that in person, maybe what we need to, if we can't do it in person, we would do it online and maybe make sure it's postmarked. If we mail it as well, make sure it's postmarked.
It's
in.
really fast if you go in person though. You just bring a copy of your ID. Make sure your address is updated on the ID that you bring or that you provide. You want to make sure the new address has already been changed or you've been down to the DPS office. So it's a really fast process.
So Nikki, what I hear her saying is take it in person.
Yeah,
That's what I hear her
There
saying.
you go.
Just take it down there.
So take it in person and have that done by next Monday, the 15th. And then the next thing would be is to make sure you are getting with a realtor and getting the actual legitimate comps, especially if you have a new build. If you don't have a new build, your comps, but as well as pictures inside and outside of your home, cosmetically speaking, that you would be using to protest the value that they have assigned to it.
Correct.
And that they're taxing you on. Because if you paid $250 and now they saying it's $475,
Ouch.
yeah, ouch. Like, no, y'all about to get this faucet that need to be replaced, this broken
All that.
dishwasher, all this stuff I'm protesting this particular thing. So yeah, that is what I'm hearing at a very high level of what we need to do from a 1, 2, 3, 4 perspective. And then obviously definitely connect with one of these realtors. If you don't have one of your own already that is able to assist you, I can attest to both Effie and Ashley helping me religiously.
Ashley who? Because there's a lot of Ashleys.
Ashley Ward.
Ashley Ward,
Ashley
baby.
sold it. Ashley Ward. Ashley sold it. She's awesome, and Effie Best is her name. Effie Best. She's the best. So both of them are individuals who I can attest to that. That this is my personal just testimony that they have assisted me without any level, like on various things when they didn't have to,
Right.
and they didn't get paid to do it, and they reached out and did it regardless. And I'm talking about literally, Ashley saved my family thousands of dollars.
Girl,
I kid you not. It's a horrible long story. She saved my family, my husband and I, thousands of dollars without so much as you owe me lunch or anything. And so she definitely does, these are individuals who do these things out of the kindness of their heart. We've seen them in the community. We see what they're doing in their business. They do a whole lot of stuff that doesn't make them money that they don't have to do for individuals like this here. And so that's why we brought them here to you guys. So please take advantage of it. If you've been here in this forum, reach out to them, let them know that you were here, and they're ready and there to help you and assist you. We got 7 days. Take advantage. Make sure you get their information before we leave out of here.
Absolutely. We're here to help you guys.
Most definitely.
We want to see everybody win. We want to make sure everybody's treated fairly. So, don't be scared to call. I always have to tell people, don't be scared to call. It's okay. I'm a little unorthodox, but it's okay. I'm gonna help you though.
And I tell everybody I'm an open book. So no question is a dumb question. A lot of times that people feel like they're new homeowners or, they're trying to get into the process and they're scared to ask questions. No question is a dumb question. Like, I'm literally an open book. You can call me about anything, anytime. I'm going to answer, and I'm going to give you, if I have the knowledge on it, you're going to get it too.
I'm not going to answer anytime. I sleep.
I'm going to answer
Look,
it anytime.
Look, I sleep at 9, y'all.
Until the phone goes I'm
going to sleep at 9, but I'll get you back in the morning, I promise.
Also,
But, we're here to
Effie
help.
can look at Effie. Effie is my girl. She saved me too. And I just want to commend you all and thank all 4 of you for just showing up tonight.
Absolutely.
This is also one of those things that Nikki was saying, how they are just truly committed to providing equity to our people. And so they are here tonight unpaid, assisting you all. They also are here to assist you all moving forward with protesting your taxes, not just this year, but moving forward. So if you do have a realtor, you can say goodbye to that realtor. And then you have 4 realtors who are here, who's truly here for you, because we wouldn't be sitting in this space if all of our realtors were doing the their job. And that's
Right.
just the fact of the matter.
But it's also reach one, teach one. If
That's
you
it.
got this information tonight, share it with your family and friends because it works for every county, you know, and let them know about the process. We need to educate. We're not having the conversations at the table, so nobody's knowing, you know, so make sure that you share the information as well. That's very important because everybody needs to know and understand what they're handling, you know, so
Each one, teach one.
you got to share the information. It does no good keeping it inside. Okay.
And for those who are streaming, go ahead and make sure we introduce them
Yep.
visually so that those who are streaming can actually connect with them online and reach out, and then also we'll kind of
Wrap up
let you
from
guys
there.
connect with them individually. Make sure you get their information.
Absolutely. So all four of these moms are Melanin Moms of Pearland. I just want to name that part. And so, and they came here by way of me just asking to come. So thank you all again. You know, I can't express enough how much I appreciate you all showing up tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So we have Ashley Ward.
Ashley Ward, you guys can reach me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. If you're looking on Instagram or Facebook, it's Miss Ashley Sold It. So that's MRSASHLEY Miss Ashley Sold It. You can reach me at any time. My phone number is the same on both platforms. We're all an open book, and so Effie, how can
We're
we reach
live
you?
streaming it, and so what I'll do is I'll tag you all after this
Okay.
as
Thank
well.
you.
So then we also have Miss Effie Best.
I am Effie Best. I'm with Prosperity Realty Group, and I'm also the membership director for WCR Fort Bend. So I work in Brazoria and Fort Bend mainly. You can reach me on Instagram, but it's MZ Credit Repair because I do that too.
Okay.
That's my main entity. And then if you come talk to me personally, I'll give you my phone number and everything like that, my digital contact info. But it was a pleasure meeting you guys.
We also have Miss Antrashelle Shumack.
I'm Antrashelle Shumack on social media, Shumack Realty Group. It's spelled SCHUMACK and then Realty Group. Phone number information is the same on everything. And feel free to reach out. I'm on the Hard Fort Bend Networking Committee. So if you are also in Fort Bend County and you need information outside of Brazoria County, then you can also reach out to me as well.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Miss D Glass.
Hello. D Glass. I am the broker and owner of Glass House Realty in Pearland. So you need me, Glass House Realty everywhere.
Okay, ladies. So once again, just want to say thank you all for coming out tonight. If you do have additional questions, you now have a point of contact for these four realtors. You can also reach out to me if you need to get in contact with these ladies. If you aren't able to find it on our social media, but we will post it tonight on Facebook and Melanin Moms, in addition to the live stream from the church. And I definitely don't want to leave here tonight without saying thank you so much to Crossing Point Church. Thank you so much to Crystal, who answered the call. And I'm an old Baptist girl, so thank you to the shepherd of the house for allowing us to be in this space. We definitely want to leave the space better than we.
Okay, that's
Oh,
right.
it's founded. It's founded. See, country girls have leave it better than you found it. Okay, so please make sure you pick up all of your papers, your pens, anything that you might have brought in. And again, if you have any questions, we have our four guest experts here. In addition to, we have Nikki Brooks, who is president of BLC, as well as a great support for Melanin Moms of Pearland. And then, of course, you always have me in your corner, Shakur Davis.
So can we take a second just to thank you guys just for being able to provide this platform for us? Because without you guys, we wouldn't be here tonight. So, girl, Nikki, you always in the Nikki is always in the mix, y'all. I don't care what platform you look on. If you look up Nikki Brooks, she in the mix some kind of way. And Miss Shakira, like you're doing the best. So we really appreciate you guys for just providing this platform, for allowing us to be able to educate and be able to speak
And it's
to.
a tour, y'all, so
It's not the last stop.
It's not our last stop. If we plan to do more of these, is to have these more throughout the year, so that we're not waiting until the week before. We'll have time to sort through those
Right.
Finding the right picture. We want to make sure that we're providing resources.
Absolutely.
We apologize for being late, but better late than never.
For sure.
And one
Most
last
definitely.
thing, although Black Leaders Collective, Melanin Moms of Pearland, that just happens to be what our groups are associated for, but we are about the community. So everybody that came out, thank you so much.
Mhm.
It's not just something that is just for us. So we welcome anybody who needs assistance and help. Everybody here has a heart to help people. And so thank you guys for coming. As they said, each one reach one, share it forward. If you need assistance and help, definitely, please definitely reach out to us. Please connect with one of them because we definitely want to. We want to all be happy homeowners, happy families, and save each other as much money
As
we
much
possibly
money as possible.
can. And so, and then again, of course, thank you to Crossing Point Church because it does take churches that are. I just want to officially thank Crossing Point Church and a pastor here because as organizations, it's very difficult to find churches in our community, unfortunately, who are actually open to assisting the community with community things that don't directly benefit something that they're doing right then in the moment. So it is extremely difficult. And so I am so grateful for the fact that we were able to use this facility and that this church is so open to allowing that kind of community aspect into their sanctuary. And that's very important for us. And so I just don't want to let that be taken for granted at any point. It's a great thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that is the vision of our church. And as we read at the beginning, we want to be the center of the community. So with that being said, we're so thankful for all of you coming out and for even reaching out to us to use our church. And I want to invite you back. If you'll come on Wednesday night, we have Bible study here at 7. On Sunday, we worship at 10 a.m. and all are welcome here. So I'm going to close out in prayer and then you don't have to leave. You can continue. Like they said, please reach out and talk to and meet with the realtors that have donated their time. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us here safely tonight. We thank you for all the information that was shared. May the knowledge and the wisdom that we received today be applied and used. And we just want to pray a special blessing over the realtors, over Nikki and Shakira, who have come together to put together this great event. And again, donated their precious time. So we pray that everyone here would get home safely. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, guys.
Are you serious?
I really appreciate you guys doing this because it's confusing. I've been in mortgage banking for 30 years.
How do I look that up?
I want to put it right here.